chicken sandwich and coffee.
This is my chicken sandwich and coffee.
I want these things off the ship. I don't care if it takes every man we've got. I want them off the ship.
Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I'm here with another video review for you. The game that I am reviewing today is a game called Trobils. It sounds like Trobils, and I guess it is about troubles. Trobils is a game of alien pest extinction, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Each person is being tasked with, there's this infestation of these horrible little space creatures on this planet that they need to go and they need to capture and destroy the Trobils that are on this particular planet. And to do so, you have to fly your ship around and collect different resources and use those resources to collect those. Then you got to throw them into the heart of a sun, basically, to destroy them, to earn your money for them. And trust me, once you see the game board, it'll make more sense. At its heart, it is a worker placement game, but it does have a few cute little wrinkles. And I have to say that even though I have, as I always, this is a Kickstarter game, it should be in Kickstarter right now, that even though what I have as a prototype, the artwork and the representation of the game is very unique, and I've never seen a game look like this. As far as the route that the color and well, you'll see it in just a moment. But it's super awesome, and it's super thematic, and it also just adds a lot to the enjoyment of the game as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to play the game. It isn't really a super complex game, but it has, like I said, it has some wrinkles to it and some interesting little decisions and choices that you'll be making as you play the game. And then we'll come back, as we always do, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the game itself and my personal thoughts. And then, as always, somewhere along the way, hopefully you'll figure out whether or not this is a game that you want to add to your collection. And you can go to the Kickstarter page, back the game, get it published, and get your very own copy for your own gaming dojo and your own gaming shelf. All right, here is Trobils and how to play it. Alright, this is the super unique, super cool looking game of Trobils. You will notice that this is a very orange game. And, growing up as a kid, my favorite color was orange. My favorite letter was H, for that matter. But anyway, regardless, I totally dig the way this looks. It has both a kind of retro, futuristic kind of look to it, as well as even though there is a preponderance of orange on the board, I do really dig it, and I just think it looks really, really super neat. The different locations, if you played a worker placement game, you're going to know, you're going to recognize certain things that you can do. Obviously, these are different spots that you are going to be placing your ships. You get these, these are not the ships that'll be in the final game, but you get these ships and you just, you place one down and then you can take the action that's on there. This isn't a game where everybody places one and you remove them and everybody gets to go. You just, as you place them, you get to take the actions. You start with one ship, and you basically, on your turn, you have two actions. You can either place a ship on the board and take the action that's located on there, or if you have no ships, you can take your ship back. If you have another ship, you can definitely place one, and then if you have another ship, you place another one. But then as soon as you run out of ships, you eventually have to take one back. There's no thing where you can take all of them back either. You're taking one at a time. Now, there's no blocking in the game, so if you take a spot that you wanted to use and somebody else says, I want to use that spot, they knock yours off, and then you get to take that back, meaning that you didn't have to take an action to pull that back. So somebody's using that spot because they need it, but they're giving you, they're basically saving you an action because you don't have to collect that one. If you ever, for whatever reason, you want to use a spot that you've already used, so like there's your ship, and you say, I'm going to place another ship right there, you destroy your ship that's on there. But not forever. You can always rebuild the ship using the location over here, the wormhole location. But that's, in a nutshell, what you're doing. What you're trying to do is you're trying to collect the right resources that in turn allow you to use this spot over here, down here, and then that allows you to take one of these Trobils that's right here, And I'll just pick one of these up. And you can see there's these cool little pictures of the Trobils up there. And then it tells you exactly what resources you need to be able to just, to collect this card. You're capturing this Trobil. And you can see there's like a mega trap. You can see there's 5 space slugs. That's your bait. A normal trap and ore. And if you have those resources, then you'll be able to collect this card. And you can see it's worth 11 victory points at the end of the game. And you can see there's this credits. And the thing is that you put this in front of you, and you have that in front of you until you go into the middle of the board and you throw your Trobils. Any Trobils you have, you throw them into the middle of the sun, and that destroys them, and then you flip them over like that, showing that they've been destroyed, and you collect whatever credits they're worth for destroying them. So each spot is pretty straightforward. There's spots that just allow you to collect things. Like here you collect these plants over here. Here you collect crystals. Over here you collect ore, which are just a different color crystal. Here's where you get your space slugs. Some of these spots, like the space slug spot, if you spend other, it's like you get 1 space slug for free if you go there. If you spend a crystal, you get 2. If you spend 2 crystals, you get 3. Over here, let's see. Here is where you get more ships. You spend 3 credits and you spend 3 ore, and you get an extra ship, and you immediately just take that in your hand. Over here, you immediately go here. You get a trap, and I like the fact that it's going to be tough to see. I apologize for that. There's a little Godzilla guy running a trap store here. I just like that little silhouette over there. Just part of the whole thing that makes this game look cool. And so then for another credit, you can get 2 traps. For 2 credits, you can get 3 traps. Over here, you just get 2 ore for using them. And then over here, it's kind of neat. These are the super traps that you have to collect. You need to trade in a trap and 2 ore to get 1 super trap, or you could trade in 3 ore and 3 traps and 5 ore to get 2 super traps. You might be saying, well, that's lame because it would be cheaper if you, but because they're only that like costs more than this is double, but that's by design. I mean, basically, if you really want super traps and you have the available stuff, you're doing it in 1 action instead of 2, so it kind of evens out, if you will. The only other really interesting spots, other than obviously collecting here and throwing them into the heart of the sun, which is always fun, there is this spot over here that allows you to buy one of these little things, like this little piece of paper, and once you buy them, you replace them as they're bought. And if for whatever reason, if all of these ever end up being the same, same as always, they're automatically, you discard all 3 of them and do it. So in case it's one that nobody wants, you won't end up just having kind of a stopgap there where nothing can be done. But each person has a little ship thing. These are your ships, and this is a design, and you just add that to a section that you decide to do, and when you add that to it, so this one's for crystals, and so you could add that, say, to here's where you get space slugs, and so if you added this to that, so you change it up, every time you went and got space slugs, you'd also get a crystal, and it costs you 2 credits to add that on, but and you can add another one onto it, so you can get crystals and something else, so say crystals and ore. But then the next one you add on to that costs 1 more. And so instead of 2, it costs 3, and so on and so forth. And so you can modify your ships by using that location. The last cool spot is over here. This is I don't know, it's been attacked by the Death Star or something. You spend 2 credits and you get to draw a card from the Riff Raff track. And this is some a hive of scum and villainy, if you will. And so you turn these over and it tells you what they have. And this is something, you use them immediately. You don't keep these in your hand. So you just turn them over, you use them immediately. Then it's a pirate. You place this card in any location without a card. It steals 1 resource from any other player that visits that location. Leave the resources on this card. When you visit the location, if there are resources on the card, discard it and collect the resources. So it's just something, and there's more than just the pirate in there. I'll show you a couple more cards. But yeah, you plop that down there. Whenever anybody goes to go get their plants, it steals a resource. And eventually it's something that you can collect. Some of the other things that besides just pirates, here's a courtesan, place the lovely vixen in any location. When any player visits the location, they must pay 3 credits to visit the location twice, then place this card in the other location. So, different things that allow you to mess with stuff. The bounty hunter, notice well, we all know who he's supposed to be. Collect the resources, sending 1 pirate. The pirate remains on the board. If there are no pirate cards on the resource board, then you must discard this card and go through the deck until you find a pirate card. So, I love this spot. It adds a little wrinkle to the game, adds a way to mess with things and change things up and make it difficult for people. So, just another way to, I like games with screwage, and so I enjoy stuff like that. Finally, to finish off the game, here's this big deck, and this is, you keep going, you keep, capturing Trobils and throwing them into the heart of the sun. And then, eventually, you will reach these cards. And you shuffle these in towards the end. And these are the city cards. And then when you turn these over, you just turn them over and you put them over down there. And you keep going until you've revealed all the city cards and also captured all the Trobils. And the city cards, basically, there's more than just the ones you fold in here. You put 1 in here in the deck per player plus 1. And then they're just end of bonus scoring. So slugs, extra points, here, crystals, extra points, and things like that. And so you have some extra points in the game. You determine the winner by totaling up the total number of victory points you have from the Trobils and the city cards at the end. And then whoever has the most points at the end of the game, obviously, is the winner of Trobils. So, there you go. That's how you play the game. Like I said, if you've played worker placement games, you're going to grasp this one really quickly. But it's a lot of fun. It's very thematic. And it's just, like I said, there's just right amount of screwage. And there's just, the right amount of, not enough spaces to always, not enough actions, not enough spaceships that you have to, it's always kind of a battle to, try to be able to do exactly what you want to do. So, all right, well, let me tell you more about the game in my conclusion. Okay, so admittedly, the game, as I said, is a prototype. Okay, so one of the big differences, I forgot to mention this as I was telling you how to play the game. One of the big differences about what you just saw and what the game is going to look like is the fact that the spaceships that you use for your worker placements, basically, will be 3D models and or be very unique looking. And since this is a prototype, I got some really cool things. As you probably noticed, but there's a kind of weird, you can't really see that real close, but kind of a weird Klingon bird of prey there. And then this looks like a spaceship right out of Flash Gordon. That kind of thing. And then we start getting kind of weird. And then I got the classic, rocket that, and if you know what I mean, these have been in tons of games. If these little plastic rockets. And then we have, basically kind of a fighter jet, a little tiny plastic fighter jet. And then we're going to go with, well, this is a, like a 747, but that's kind of a cool idea, 747 in space. But, of course, and this is the one I always played when we played, yeah, this is not a dirigible, this is not something, this is a fishing boat. Anyway, I like the idea of me and my 14-foot aluminum fishing boat cruising through the cosmos, if you will. But anyway, there you go. So don't worry if you're worried about what those look like. I know they are making some very unique and very cool looking spaceship miniatures for the game. Alright, so this is Trobils, and it goes without saying that the inspiration for this game, or at least kind of the whole Trobils thing, and if you might have guessed, is the Trouble with Tribbles. And you remember that from Star Trek? But remember the Tribbles were like these furry little things that were really cute and cuddly and weren't devastating, but the Trobils are like these horrible creatures that are like threatening people and threatening the way of life on that planet. And so, if you boil it down to its nuts and bolts, the game is a pretty straightforward resource collection game. You are using different locations to collect the things that you need, and the game does. And I know a lot of people are going to say you play one of those games, you play them all, but what this game does uniquely for me, at least when I played it, was, the fact that, one, you didn't have a boatload of workers. You can have up to 3 rocket ships. That's it. And so you've got 3, and so you're really making your choices your options pretty narrow. And the fact that it really isn't one of those games where, it's like, okay, everybody put your worker down, everybody put your worker down, everybody put your worker down, okay, collect all your workers and let's get our stuff. It doesn't go that route. This isn't a game of turns so much as, like, it's a game of just action allowancing and going through the game. What I enjoyed about it was it's kind of like a game that I really liked from a year or two ago, Manhattan Project. It has that ability of, like, one of your actions is to take one of your workers back, and that's your entire turn. But the thing is that what's cool about that, or what isn't cool about that, is that you're kind of hoping that somebody actually puts their rocket ship on the same spot that you're at, so then you get it back for free, and you don't have to waste a turn getting it. And if you are the person making your choices and putting your unit, your rocket ships, or whatever you want, your workers technically, if you're putting that on the board, it's such a great moment where your opponent is looking at the board and they're like, oh, I really need ore. But he's on the spot for the ore, and if I go there, he's gonna, like, I want him to have to take that back. And so you can see the other players wrestling with the fact that you're kind of like, you're not really blocking anything, because a lot of worker placement games rely on, oh, you can't use that area because I'm there. You're never really blocking anything because people can knock you off, and it doesn't really do anything other than giving you a free action. And so just that one little rule adds so much interactivity to the game that just it was a ton of fun, and it was one of those things that I just agonized over decisions, and you found yourself looking at them like, okay, well, if I go here, that's kind of suboptimal for me, but then at least he's got to take his guy back, and I've still got a worker waiting, so when it gets back to me, then I can go and take that spot. Hopefully he removes it from that area, and the game is all kind of open knowledge. There's very little, like, secret anything. The only time you ever have anything secretive is after you've thrown a Trobil in the sun. I think I mentioned that in the rules, but other than that, I mean, the game is really open and really honest. You can kind of see what everybody has, and you can kind of try to deduce what people want and the direction they're going to go. I really liked the resource allocation. I liked the slow growth of the game. This isn't one of those things where it was super obvious. Just like go for more workers. I mean, it was just, that wasn't really like the route that it goes. It seems like every time I play a worker placement game, that seems what, like, the most common strategy, and like it makes the most sense, and like get more workers right away. But that didn't seem to be the case in this game. And there was such yeah, I mean, having an extra one was cool because then you had that extra spot, but then you had them like kind of sitting out there on the board, and you had to figure out which one you're going to take back and which ones you like thought you're like going to be able to take back for free, and all those different things. And in the meantime, somebody that maybe hadn't used up all their time getting their using their money and their ore to get more ships, they might have collected a few cheap Trobil cards, and like all of a sudden they've got more points and more credits, and they kind of get that early lead. So there was a lot of fun little seesaw, like, weight of action, like, how good was this, how good was that. There was never really any clear-cut, straightforward method that I found in my multiple plays of the game, and I like that. I like the fact that I'm still playing it, I'm still trying to solve it, and I'm still like trying to, find that, like, good edge. And then I do like also the fact that the stack of the Trobil cards with the cities in them, you don't use all of them. I don't think I mentioned that. You don't use all of them. You actually take some of those out. You only use 20 of those cards, and so the game is different each and every take as it is. So, it's one of those games where I'm a worker placement fanatic, and I like it when somebody does something different with a worker placement game. And I ended up really enjoying the heck out of this one, and I really can't wait to see what the final look of the game is going to be. So there you go. That's the game of Trobils. If you have any questions or concerns or anything about the game that you're interested in knowing about, please ask away. I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. And I'm pretty sure the people at Kraken Games would be more than happy to answer those questions as well. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And until the next time you tune in, this was Undead Viking telling you to have yourself an awesome day. All right. Alla boom!